Finally, we have a new meta change in WildRift. My name is Kirks and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. Your favorite ranked 1 washed up grandpa on the microphone, showing you how to play the newest pick of the patch, LILLIA. With this patch we have multiple new champions. If you watch Royal, you already have seen that Mr. Royal played Echo, and Echo is the other champion and has been made so much stronger. Okay, first off, in the patch notes I was a little bit doubtful about the LILLIA damage changes. But after playing her a few games, especially with different rune setups, different item builds, it was very apparent that this champion finally fits the theme of dealing damage. And her jungle clear is so much faster compared to before, but what makes her so decent right now? It's the movement speed paired with the high damage you have, as well as the damage that you can deal to tanks. So you have a decent situation against burst champions if you're fast enough with your fingers. And against tanks, you're an absolute demonic existence. You touch them with any type of your spell and they just go home. And don't worry, since I'm playing a lot more recently, there's going to be a lot more footage I can provide you with, and also different types of videos. And I thought it was time for a change, so how about like this kind of video, where the quality is a little bit higher than the Chinese ones, as I'm actively, having good footage to take a look at. So what are we seeing here? We see the typical triple Chinese pre-made on the enemy team. Luckily, however, they're not playing for Giga invading me, trying to avoid this as much as possible. My clear is relatively fast, so invading me is also rather difficult. However, if the enemy is a Kindred, she can most certainly do so. Nonetheless, after the nerfs to Kindred, she is a lot weaker than compared to before. She's not the insane force she used to be. She is a lot weaker, and I saw Kindred walk to the Scuttle Crab up there, and since I'm such high level, I can basically just say hello to Kindred for a second and see what I can do. Maybe I can even snack the Scuttle, and I snacked the Scuttle Crab. The issue is, it is still Kindred, I'm not level 5. So yeah, I have to be really mindful. That I spaced away was kind of wasteful. Now I have to flash. I think if I space better I can get the kill. Here I just misclick 90 times, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. In case you don't know, your second ability can be cast over walls, by the way. Even though if you don't jump over them, that's the biggest change or biggest thing about your champion that's very niche to have. Because this way you can deal damage in fights without exposing yourself to too much risk and still hit them with the sweet spot, as well as then if you have Liandry's, completely send them into the next game. Kindred also went for a very interesting path this game. Generally speaking, didn't go for a full clear, rather wanted to go for a very slow partial clear and then contest the Scuttle Crab. And yeah, you see what happens if you do this. My cat is on the move here as well in real life, trying to explore, trying to survey the window. Kindred here on the move again. There is an enemy support here as well, kind of a dangerous situation. They really like to do this together. But yeah, what are your thoughts about this current patch? Have you spotted any kind of champion that you think is now like meta that you didn't think was meta before? And how are you dealing with the current damage? And now we have the Mr. Fresh coming here. We have to avoid this. We have to play it slow. We have to look at the play here. We get the blue buff for some extra sustain. We sadly get hooked though. We hit entirely of the enemy team. Deal good damage back. Ziggs is playing so far back, not using any auto tag, even though they are so potent at this stage of the game. Me now trying to look for items. Classic. Found my Rift Maker first item, allowing myself to gain even more burst. Kindred has a mark on my chicken, so I was thinking she might be invading this one. However, she's not really doing so. I don't understand why, and I'll also be happy. And now she's here delayed. Now we look for her, but sadly she's just jumping away. Meanwhile, my bot lane is taking a lot of care of the enemy's tower since, well, the enemy Fresh was caught rotating into the jungle onto my buff earlier, so that is very much deserved. But the sad thing about this game, if I remember correctly, I'm an AP jungle that is getting ridiculously fat, but Yuumi has to obviously stay by her AD carry, because what else, Now we spot the Lucian. We are still rapid, and we just restack our movement speed buff. We go close. We do this spell. You see he got the damage buff, and we just run him down. You will not survive. You see the speed boost. You see just generally the damage of LILLIA at this point. It is kind of insane how much damage this champion can do. Here now I'm going to wait for a second, just in case that Kindred comes by because she's stupid, and then I just waltz over to the Herald to just make sure to get both. But I don't really understand, like, Kindred's decision making was so weird, generally speaking, and since this is a mark, I obviously want to get both at the same time. So I start leashing the Herald and pull the crab back next to Herald, so I can get both at the same time, without putting myself at risk. Because you do not want to lose a mark against Kindred if you can basically deny this. Now the enemy team is making a quick little rotation again, but we drop the Herald here and invade the enemy jungle camps, because since we know that Kindred is on the other side of the map thanks to the global announcement of the dragon, we just walk over into her jungle, take everything that's hers and claim it as ours. Kindred now being spotted, turning around, smiting it away, and then we walk off in style. Another mark is spawning here, but I do not necessarily want to play for this without getting a full reset off. Because I have so much gold in my bank, you can make the argument I could go for another reset, but I could go for another full clear and then look for a reset. But I think it's too dangerous because I don't think I'll make it in time to clear my blue buff. I'll make it in time to clear my Gromp, but not my blue buff, I think. So yeah, now the Thrash is here. I'm here to protect my Ziggs. It was a very risky play by me. Looking at the enemy Camille, maybe I can run her down. She sadly sidesteps this spell, but now there is a Thrash on the way. But this is not a problem. We pop the ultimate, flash the damage of the box, hunt them down, you see the outer edge damage and she just instantly dies. And this Thrash, he just doesn't know. We just carefully aim the third ability, get the slow, he will flame me, hitboxes are a lie by the way, and we just keep on walking down this poor guy. And now it's time to take, well, you better believe it, a look into the enemy jungle, since we haven't spotted any red buff on the enemy champion, so, well, might as well invade them again. And with this in the state as it is, we just say hello to Camille, because now we have multiple sources of true damage. We go close, hit it with the first ability, hit the second ability, hit the third ability, go closer, reset turret echo, walk closer, hit the smite, and then go for the auto attack as well for the true damage component to be applied, which is the burn. So you see this champion's mobility and overall damage is very insane, but it's completely different compared to other junglers, for example Lee Sin. This champion is much more about weaving, going in and out of a fight, rather than just going in and one-shotting somebody. Your biggest play you can make is you can use your first ability and flash, and then pop your ultimate. To make sure you don't die in the meantime, you press Zhonya's instantly. But yeah, that is basically the biggest play you can make on this champion outside of, just running at people, going in and out of fights, and utilizing your movement speed. Because technically speaking, it takes skill to utilize movement speed. Now we spot the Camille, but there's just no way she doesn't escape. Yeah. Goodbye, Camille. Maybe say hello to her in the jungle, hit our third ability. Ah, sad we didn't hit. We have a lot of gold in the bank, but we see our team is making their best efforts on the other side of the map, doing the trio queue adventure. Now the entire enemy team is there to say hello to them. Now it's time for me to just quickly take a look. Can I change something about this? This is going to be relatively close because I have a lot of gold here. I hit my third ability, hit my first ability, but Kindred still has ult, so I have to walk close. Pops the ult, survives with 1 HP. I turn around, the Thrash will die to my poison, or not poison, but debuff, and I have to be very, very careful. Lucian sidesteps nicely here, so I have to be really careful of what he's about to do. Have to walk in that brush. I'm so lucky that I sidestepped his first ability, turn around, and one-shot him. If this goes wrong, we're all so depressed, by the way. This is a ping differential. And I'm beyond rich, by the way. I am so rich, you have no idea. Close to 4k gold, picking up the next item before a dragon fight. I'm going to go so crazy. Time for my Leandries to be picked up. Hello, my little friend. And now we go over to the next item, which is going to be Rabadon Staff Cap, because we want this up to 50% more AP. Because more AP on our champion is not only more burst damage, it's more dot damage, and it's more damage from Leandries. So if I tag anyone, they just burn to death. giving my teammate a little buff on his first ability so he can stack it. I popped the ult because I thought he would go deeper, like for a quick combo onto that Lucian, but I think it was too forced here and I simply wasted my ultimate. We're seeing wards getting placed over the wall, 2 people getting mid lane priority. The Xayah is running to the right side, which is a big mistake, giving them the free mid lane tower, which is also a bounty, when the Xayah wasn't needed from this angle. Now the enemy is most likely going to contest the blue buff, so we can't really go there, so we just go for the enemy blue buff. It's very simple. Just taking away as much as we can. Have to be careful, I do not walk too close to that brush unless I have more information. Camille is also playing a very dangerous game of even walking here. So yeah. Here my thoughts were, maybe she's just still in here. Now we're checking the walls for a brief second, sadly they're not available. You can spot fog of wall with your champion by just utilizing your abilities over walls, and you'll see number 1, the hit indicator, and you see the damage this champion does. Goodbye. Well, the Kindred is walking closer, the Lucian as well. He crit me for 278, what is that? Turn around, go for the combo, get the knockup. Look at the Kindred, by the way. Look, boom. Did you see that damage? I don't even have Rabadon. Yeah, and you're dead as well, but he exhausts me. It's criminal. Using exhaust is illegal. Now me, 1 HP, recall? No. Scavenge enemy jungle? Hell yeah. Now you saw I got the buffs on my buff bar, the movement speed, and some extra healing. That's how you can check if things are in fog or war. You can also see like a little hit indicator if you pay really close attention. If you're wondering why am I thinking about a recall, it's like, there's a crab. Okay, sadly no crab. And now I have my Rabadons, and then I can just go back instantaneously. Now it's time to go slowly about the Nasher. Kindred is not going for a mark, she's not trying to flip the game even more as she already has. And I think if she played, like given her matchups on mid lane, Ziggs against the Jace with the matchups they have, if they play proactive on the map, I can't play jungle at all. It's like I get completely denied and everything. And here I just grief, I just don't get him because my buffs were off and I just instantly die. 741 of a shock blast, yep. And this is the moment where I grief the game basically. A big mistake. If I am indeed a lot faster with my passive because I pay more attention, then I have a chance of catching him and killing me instantly. But Ziggs has a very nice play here, denying the Kindred any access and forcing her ult. I also pick up teleport here. Ideally, if you die at this point, you just pick it up, and if you don't need it, you just sell it again. Yone is kiting very well here, tries to be as safe as possible while just maintaining a lot of resources. Now I'm trying to look for teleport in to look for another proactive play. Thrash sadly gets the base off. So my recall, my teleport doesn't really pay off. However, we can now just look for Baron Nashor. Because the enemy team had to reset, and we have so much damage in a sense of just bursting. Like, look, that was just a few seconds. It just dissipates instantly. And all I have to do is wait for my first ability and smite it, and there's just nothing they can do. Pop my second ability over the wall, hit it with 711, and they just all dissipate. It's crazy how much damage this champion can do. And again, it's all about the fluidity of movement in general. You just want to go fast, and finally I have a Yuumi on me. Finally, they have finally joined the person with 1 billion gold. Now we spot the Lucian. The Yuumi was not on me yet. I just deal so much damage onto her. He will go over the wall. I go for a quick combo. The Lucian will die to the damage of a time effect. I walk close. I go for spacing. The Yuumi is finally with me, so I'm safe enough. Walk it off, look at the healing, look at the sustain I get, walking after them, hit another third ability, maybe, yep I do, and the damage is just so insane. Look at the sustain I have as well. Like, this champion, if you can get in and out of fights, is just so absurdly dumb. And I really hope Riot doesn't nerf this champion, because in all honesty, if they nerf this champion, they might as well nerf all the other champions as well. Because yeah, it's just absolute nonsense. But yeah, for LILLIA, you just want to be farm, and then play. You want to utilize your passive movement speed as much as you can because it's, well, one of the most broken things your champion's kit has. Also, make sure to hit the outer edge of your first ability because it's just too much damage. It's simply way too much damage. If you miss the outer edge, you lose more than... because it's a true damage, right? You lose more than half your damage. So that, like, okay, if you're asking, why would I go for this now? Generally speaking, I wanted to go for Infinity Orb, but the item is 3,400 gold rather than 3,200 gold. If I had 3,400 gold, I would have bought Infinity Orb, not even caring about my tankiness at all, because I wanted to see my things crit. Because I have so many damage over time effects with Leandris and my passive, and if the enemy gets below 45%, which is basically just 1 Q, yeah. My damage over time effect would then just tick over time and kill them regardless. That Shock Blast deals so much damage. Stacking up our movement speed buff. Slowly and collect it. Get the red buff with the power of our damage over time effects. And sadly we don't have any other wave prepared, so it's time to wander around the map like a cute little deer. Collect everything of the enemies, and the enemy's trying to engage onto our Yone for whatever reason. We've thrown our third ability, looking for a pick here. We hit the first ability on the Camille, and she takes so much damage. Nice evasion here by her. But now we just continue the hunt down. The first ability completely annihilates them. We hit them. Look at the damage we hit, but the fresh hook was too good that I tanked the aggro because he hooks me and actually denies me the ability to gain a pentacle here, because I think if I don't get hooked here, I will get a pentacle because I'm way more alive. But you see the damage of this ability? How the Kindred just got scammed, by the way. Because if you use a jump ability that isn't an instant flash, you get dragged back. Like if anything is buffered, like for example Ezreal E, you jump out of Yone ult, but you still get pulled back in. It's so dumb. And yeah, that marks the end for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, have some fun on WildRift, enjoy your time, and we'll see each other for more Rift Guides content very, very soon.